Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is John Bunn and I'm joined by Blake, the editor, Blake Polino. How are you, my friend?
I am great. We are here in Guatemala. The weather is beautiful. It's actually raining behind us right now. If you're not watching this on YouTube, youtube.com/howtofilmweddings. Shout out. It looks cool. We just set up camp here in the middle of our hotel lobby area, and so if people walk by or if it sounds a little weird, that's why. But I'm great, dude. We're having a blast.
Dude, I'm so good. There are people looking at us weird, which we're totally fine with.
Totally fine.
Blake's got his Guatemala shirt on.
I have a floral shirt on. That's probably what people are looking at.
And people are wondering if they should walk behind us, and hopefully they just will. But we're here in Guatemala, like Blake was saying, and wanted to do a quick podcast while we were here, while we were on location, so that we could walk through exactly kind of what we have been doing, what we're planning to do, and how we're getting the most out of this trip. So today's episode, we're going to be talking all about that. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
It seems like there are new cameras and equipment coming out all of the time. It gets increasingly confusing and the FOMO is real. John and I have been preaching for years that the best way to try out new gear is to rent before you buy. There is only one place that we recommend when it comes to renting, and that is our friends over at Lens Rentals. Lens Rentals is the premier source for renting not only camera equipment, but lenses, drones, projectors, and more. Do you have a big project coming up and you really need to wow your couple? Wanting to test out the newest camera before you drop thousands on it? You need Lens Rentals. My favorite thing is that if I love something I rent, I can keep it. They apply a portion of the rental fee to the purchase price, and within a few simple clicks, the gear is mine. So head over to howtofilmweddings.com/lensrentals and use promo code HTFW15 at checkout for 15% off of your order. Lens Rentals, the only place we recommend renting.
Okay, so we're here. We're in Guatemala. We've been here for a couple days now, and I get asked a lot how you can make the most out of a destination wedding. We have a wedding in a few days, a couple days from now as we're recording this, and we've been here a couple days already. And so, yeah, we just wanted to kind of say what we've been doing, how we've been getting ready for this, and I wanted to start by just saying what we've been doing to kind of save on our footprint. How much gear we're bringing, things like that. So this couple hired me, and they're from the States. They're getting married in Guatemala. So I did what I think a lot of people have heard me say maybe, but I found somebody local, and I've hired them to be shooting with us. And they have tripods, light stands, drone, lenses, camera bodies, a bunch of stuff. And so before we got here, Blake and I Zoom chatted with this guy from Guatemala here, made sure he was legit, walked through the gear that he had, and we're going to pay him extra to basically rent his gear. But that made it to where you didn't really even have to pack that much. I didn't really have to pack that much.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and we see it all the time in our Facebook groups and in comments and messages when people get freaked out when they travel internationally. So you're bringing gear into another country, you're doing work in another country, and that feels sketchy, right? It feels a little scary to do that, especially when you got to go through customs. And so this allows us to pack a much more minimal footprint, because a lot of times when we shoot together in the US, we'll have a call the week before, hey, what gear are you going to bring? And it's usually everything. I'm just going to bring it all, and so we'll just bring everything, and you don't really have to think about it as much. But you have the regulations of the airlines that you have to mess with, and then all of that. So it makes the footprint a lot easier. It's a lot less headache. But we also do some things to kind of have a safety net, if you will, on that as well, just because you want to get here and you hope that this person that you hire, and the person that we're hiring for this, very well vetted. I mean, yes. There was this weird occurrence that happened where I might have actually been lead shooting this for John instead of second shooting, and he said, hey, he's going to second shoot, and I looked at the guy's Instagram. I was like, I used to be second shooting for him. He's better than me, but we did have some things to kind of fall back on. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and so it made it to where I was able to bring 2 camera bodies. Blake was able to bring 2 camera bodies. We made it in such a way where I brought a travel tripod, Blake did, so that if for some reason the person that we hired locally didn't show up, we had everything that we needed to do a wedding. And that was, it just makes it way easier knowing that it's my light stand's Don't need to bring those. Don't need to do that. I will throw out a disclaimer as well, too, is that every single country is different on what you can bring into the country, what you can bring out of the country. In the last few weeks, we've released a video talking about how to legally travel with gear into your country. We're not going to get into that today. But we strongly recommend that you watch that video on our YouTube channel. Blake shouted out earlier. So yeah, we want to have a small footprint. I was able to fit everything that I needed into a roll-on backpack that I have, as well as a backpack. So I've got all the batteries I need. I have everything that I need so that I can be successful on the wedding, all the cards, all the stuff. But the footprint of, I mean, when I went to Italy, I brought it all myself, and it just, like, it costs a lot extra. And so, like, you can hook somebody up and pay them locally to have gear there. Even if you're doing a travel wedding that's like, you know, if you're in the United States and you're going to a different part of the United States or something, or different within your country, hiring somebody local for that destination wedding for you. I've done that in lots of places. I did hire somebody to fly a drone for me in Italy, and they also brought a couple of tripods and a couple of extra cameras, so it did make my footprint more minimal. But you want to be thinking about that kind of stuff, and so hopefully that will help you out. So moving on from that, we've been here. We flew in on, what day was it? Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday. Today is Thursday as we record this, so we're in our second day. And I love destination weddings, especially when the couple is flying out, the family's coming, there's activities going on. And I actually was on the same plane as the bride and her family as they were flying out, and was able to get footage of them. I always will have my camera on me, but to make the best use of this trip, we wanted to be here we want to get used to the weather, we want to get used to the climate, and getting there the day before you're shooting is not something that I like to do when I'm doing destination weddings abroad. Like, getting here on Tuesday allowed for my plane to be delayed a ton. Yesterday was kind of a refresh, get used to everything. And then now today, I'm really in the zone. I'm on the right time zone. We're here. We're fresh. So that tomorrow when we do the rehearsal dinner and the next day when we do the wedding, we're going to be completely prepared. So, Blake, what are we doing to get the most out of this shoot? What are we getting? Start with the couple, I guess. So, what kinds of things have we already been doing? And what kinds of things are you seeing us do in the next couple days?
One of the best parts, and we had a lot of fun with this last night, so we went to dinner with the family, the bride and the groom, and the bride's family last night. Super cool restaurant. I mean, we got some drone footage that just, spoiler alert, I got to fly my drone through a cloud to reveal a volcano. That's just...
It's whatever.
Bucket list shots, but that's another thing. But what we did is, it gave us a chance to also get some other footage, because that's really cool drone footage, and it gave us a little bit more time to do that. Some cool B-roll of the family hanging out, just really cool things that'll incorporate into the film. But the most important part of that entire event, and I would trade all the footage we shot for, was a conversation that we had. So John and I sat at the end of the table with the bride's mom and the bride's grandmother, and just had some really sincere conversations, and
awesome.
And it was really I love that kind of stuff. And it was John asked the grandmother of the bride, it was just give us parenting advice. If you could go back to our age, having a daughter, because I have a daughter, he has two daughters, and what advice would you give? And he asked the mother of the bride, what's one word you would use to describe how you feel right now, with the wedding and everything happening. And we weren't recording any of this. We didn't have a task cam on mom while she was saying that. We weren't filming her. But it was just this really, first off, candid connection that we were making with them. But it also adds to the backstory of the film that John's going to be able to create, because now we just have a really, really good understanding of the family dynamic, and it just adds a whole nother layer to the story that he'll be able to tell when he goes to make this video.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Whenever they asked me to be part of this wedding, I started making suggestions of, I should be here a little bit early. We should do this. You guys should have me film this. You guys can come through. But that was awesome. Don't take this out. But we knew that they were going up to a volcano, to a restaurant in a volcano to do some stuff. We got there early. We always are having our cameras on us. When we went yesterday, we woke up yesterday, day one of being here. We went out to breakfast. We walked around. We flew the drone. We just have our gear with us, and it's oh, that's a really cool shot. Let's film that real quick. Oh, let's take the drone up. Let's just be getting footage, be thinking about the sounds, and thinking about our senses, right? What's it smell like? What's it sound like? What does it feel like? and knowing how we can incorporate that into the film itself. And so like thinking that through and walking that through with the couple. You guys can come on. This is awesome.
We picked the worst spot ever.
It's the best lit spot. But like, so yesterday was that. Today there's nothing really going on. So more on that in a little bit, what we've done with today. But tomorrow will be a rehearsal dinner. The next day will be a wedding. And like by having those conversations last night, by being around this week, by being on the same plane with them, there's another layer, like a level of what I can do for them. This specific couple, I was able to get home footage of them, and they let me, I've already, digitized home footage. So I've seen footage of them as kids, their family. So I was able to bring that up into conversation. And it's different than me just showing up and saying, I'm filming your wedding. Like by the time I get there, I already know everybody.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to that, I think we'll get a question that will be asked about this is like, did you charge a lot extra to be here for this extra day? And I'll let you kind of answer that and talk to the, should you be charging extra for that? Beyond the chaos of you needing a buffer traveling here at least a day on before the event's supposed to happen. But even if you didn't charge a lot extra for this, I think there would be a ton of value in, first off, it's a beautiful place. It's like if you're getting to do destination work in beautiful places, even if you're not getting paid a lot to come a day extra, look into the opportunity if that's something you can afford based on where your prices are. Definitely do it because of what we talked about, just the ability to do that. But a lot of times when we're filming weddings, so much of what makes it a constraint on us is the time that we have during the day, right? So like you've got 8 hours, 10 hours on a day, and you're trying to cram this in, and it turns into this game of what am I not going to get, right? So you have to prioritize, okay, this is, and that's how it happens at every wedding. You're like, okay, I'm going to live with not getting that shot because this is more important. When you do that, it stretches this out and you have time for it to go downtown and get these cool shots, and you can really stretch that out. You can be more creative and be more flexible. And then that kind of leads into the next thing that we can talk about that's really a creative way to get the most out of these extra time, and another reason to encourage to add some extra time before or after if you're wanting to get into destination work and build it. And that's kind of what I think John will talk about next year.
We've built this relationship with this couple, and if you are wanting to get into destination work, I strongly recommend what Blake is saying. Like being here an extra couple of days is going to end up costing me maybe $500, like for the resort fee and for everything, and like the food and like looking at the country that you're going to or whatever. But I'm not stressed right now. I know all my gear is here. I have days of time. We've been able to work out. We've been able to eat healthy. We've been able to exercise. We walked around town. We got footage. I'm already in a position where I have a ton of drone shots, a ton of establishing B-roll shots. I have a relationship with the family. And so that just helps me. We haven't shot the rehearsal yet or the wedding yet, but the couple and the family loves me and knows me now. And so if you are trying to get into destination work, the weddings that I've done in the past, it's like I've done trade out. I've done it just for travel. I've done it for travel and just a little bit more. We are getting paid and getting paid really well for this wedding. They're covering our travel. They're covering our food, our resorts, everything. So like I am in a more privileged position, but I added on an extra day and I'm covering that extra day. And I did something that I think a lot of people don't think about doing is I found a couple that is here through our connection that we're hiring to do the video, that they just, this new couple just recently got married. They still have their wedding attire. And in about 20 minutes after we record this, we're meeting up with them, a separate couple from the couple that we're working with. And they got hair and makeup done today, and they got flowers, and they got dressed up so that we can go film with them. The couple that we're actually here to film is doing like bachelorette stuff. They didn't want it filmed. And so we said, hey, let's make the use of this day and this time. Let's film another couple. And so we met that couple yesterday for some coffee and got to know them, made a relationship. They're actually wedding photographers, so I'm working that angle. And then tonight we'll go to 2 or 3 different locations and be able to get a ton of really good footage of just a bride, just a groom, them together. They have a small kid now. Like there's a lot of different things we can do, and we're going to, why? Like why would we do that? What is it like? What radar goes off for you of like this is the thing that we should be doing?
Yeah, I love this because anytime we've shared this strategy, and it's a strategy with people in this industry, it's like a huge light bulb, like mind blown, because destination work is hard to get into. because it's that weird thing, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, but no one wants to hire you to film a destination wedding until they've seen that you've done one, right? Unless you have just like a really unique connection that makes it happen. Kind of the same thing with a celebrity wedding. They're not going to hire you to film a celebrity wedding unless they've seen that you've done it. And this is a shortcut to that, because you're able to get another film for your reel, basically. If you shoot it right and you do it right, you can get additional content. And that's the other part of this is, as videographers, a lot of times it's hard for us to stretch the content as much as a photographer can. Like a photographer can shoot like one great wedding and post for months on it. For us, like the editing process to go back in and make a reel and things like that, it's a lot more labor intensive and we just don't get as much. But for this, it's more content for you, and it's a foot in the door so people can look at your work and see that you've shot at these locations. And obviously when you do a destination wedding, you want to make it location, because the location is like its own character in the film, and you can promote that, and it's fantastic.
Nick and I have to tell you about one of our favorite places to upload our wedding films, and that is Love Stories TV. Love Stories TV is one of the best free resources for us wedding filmmakers. The best part is they are bringing the couples to us. All we have to do is upload our films and we are good to go. Upload unlimited wedding films to your completely free business page. Setup is easy and your films can be live in just minutes. Now is the perfect time to start uploading to Love Stories TV. So head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/lovestoriestv to check out all of the details and see how Love Stories TV is giving away $10,000 in cash to wedding filmmakers just like you. That's howtofilmweddings.com/lovestoriestv to start uploading and connecting with the right couples today.
One question that we see wedding filmmakers asking: what is the best site for licensing music? We have one answer: Musicbed. I have been exclusively using Musicbed since 2016, and our films are better because of it. I have been told during consultations that couples love our films because they feel raw, authentic, and that the music wasn't cheesy. Musicbed has a roster of incredibly talented musicians, bands, and composers who pour their hearts into their work, and you can hear the difference. Find the perfect song with Musicbed's intuitive search features like genre, mood, beats per minute, and key, which is probably my favorite of the search parameters. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed to do what I did and take your wedding films to the next level. Use promo code HTFW22 at checkout to receive 1 month free with the purchase of any annual subscription. That's howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed.
And this year I'm shooting 10 weddings, okay? And so at each of the weddings I'm thinking, how can I get the most out of this for my marketing, for my reel, for my Instagram feed, for my TikTok, for all these different things. And by being able, but by being able to do this work with this couple, I can actually control things. And what's really helpful for me is, I don't know if it happens to you, but when I'm in a new place, like I kind of forget everything I know about filming for a minute, and it's like, my surroundings are weird. I've never been here before, and part of that, like acclimating to here, is like it's going to help my couple that's paying me for us to go do that shoot in 20 minutes, and it's going to get my creative juices flowing, and it's going to. But what's really cool about it is I'm not going to just now post like 12 videos in a row from Antigua. I have those in my editing queue, so I can sprinkle an Antigua film, a 10-second reel, a 20-second reel, a longer teaser. I can sprinkle one of those out every 4 or 5 weeks, and it just tells couples that are looking at you, oh, this person travels, this person does high-end weddings, this person, whatever it is. So I'm getting the most out of this week for that. And so that has been super cool to be able to come here, get ourselves acclimated. What else you want to add?
I mean, I love the being able to have that in reserve, because so much of, you shoot what you show. It's been talked about on the podcast here so much, and it's just such a good social proof for the couples who are out there who are looking for. And the more I've done this with John, and I've had the privilege of going on a lot of these destinations with him to shoot, and have shot destinations myself as well. And the more I do this, the more I realize how much of a big benefit it is for a couple if they can take someone from their local market with them to go film, because it's difficult to find somebody in another country that you don't know and then give them thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to film your wedding, and maybe a language barrier could be an issue and things like that. And I just can't say enough about how really, really cool it is. We'll go back from this with tons of content to be able to use for our own reels and websites, and a great way to get into one of, in my opinion, the hardest parts of our industry to get into.
Yeah, and as we're closing up on this shorter episode, if you're not interested in destination weddings, but you're wanting to do more luxury weddings, you want to do more like adventurous weddings or more boho weddings, whatever it is, like if you haven't gotten those before, my first few destination weddings, I had to basically trade out for travel plus a little bit more. And then I did the Italy wedding. I got paid to do that one. And then I did a wedding in Mexico and got paid to do that one in Charleston and LA or wherever it is. And like now it's starting to really go for me, and I'm booking more and more weddings in different places. Hardly any of my weddings are in Oklahoma anymore, right? And it's because I show what I want to shoot, I shoot what I want to show, and that only gets better and it cycles upward the more that we do this. I'm going to be able to go home from this and post one drone shot of a volcano, and that could be part of my feed for the day. Maybe one shot of a volcano and one shot of a couple. And then I can tag the location, and when people are searching the location, they want to follow me, and then once they go to my page, are there more things? Are there, and that's the thing that we've really realized is that every single wedding that you do is, especially if it's your ideal couple, your ideal vibe, it's so vital to the growth of your business. You're getting paid to shoot your marketing material. And one final piece of advice is that, like, number one, I am here for my couple and their family. And yes, it's about me getting good stuff for me, but like the heart behind all of this week is like, I want to know who this family is. I want to serve them well. And over time, doing that again and again, year after year, my inbox is getting full with the kinds of inquiries that I want. So hopefully this episode was helpful. It was quick, I know, but we wanted to record while we were here, while we were in the moment. If you have any questions about destination weddings or anything like that, or what we're doing or any of that, just hit us up on Instagram at How to Film Weddings. Send us a DM. Anything you want to add before I land this plane?
No, have fun with it. Like, you can really use this to, because we had a good time when we were here. I mean,
my gosh.
We've been like checking out cool local spots to eat and just hanging out and talking business and getting cool shots of us, like even for like our websites and like for our own personal stuff. And
yeah,
have fun with it. I mean, there's just so much cool opportunity. But yeah, that's
shoot.
all
I'm not going to sign off. I forgot to say that part.
Yeah.
Is we when we were shooting earlier this week. And what we'll do again is, like, with this couple that we're working with, we're getting photos with the couple. We're getting photos like of us with the couple in Guatemala. So we can show that in our feed. We're getting photos of just me. Blake took the drone out and filmed me. I mean, if you want to put a shot of me right here.
It's a dope shot. I'm going to add it.
Okay.
Right now.
Not the swimming pool. But the point being is, like, thinking through before you get here. We met beforehand. It's like, how can we get the most amount of content in a way that serves the couple and serves us? And so get photos of you while you're there. Create styled shoots. Create, like quick little, get-togethers with people, couples. Like, you can find people, you can stalk them and location scout and say, that's a cute couple. I'm going to DM them on Instagram and say, hey, would you be interested? I'm going to be in town. Get out of the comfort zone. Get out of the box. All right, that's all I have. Yeah. I could keep going. We got to get to our shoot, but thank you guys so much for listening. I think I'm going to just end it.
You should just end it.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah. Until next time, we'll see you.
See ya.
Are you looking for a better way to deliver your wedding films to your couples? Look no further. Our friends over at WedFlow provide the most flexible video delivery solution on the market. WedFlow is pay per project with no large upfront cost or commitment, and you can cancel anytime. Not only that, WedFlow offers a premium viewing experience for your couples. Accessible on mobile, tablet, desktop, as well as their very own suite of TV apps. Each project comes with 10 years hosting and an experience for your clients that will blow them away. Stop delivering your films the old-fashioned way and give your couples something to rave about. Head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/WedFlow to check out WedFlow today.